Done?
Oh, hey, let me know when we're live. Oh, we're live.
Alright.
Every single week, guys. Every single week. What time is it? 2:01. It's pretty much on time. Costa Rica time. Sunday time. I'm late because I was just over on my personal Facebook page making a confession to all of my dear friends and family over there. If you're watching this, you see that we are talking about gnocchi. There's many different ways to say gnocchi. Gnocchi. Don't say it like that. The Italians will really get mad at you. Rythmia is now live. Join Meg for her latest live stream, Got Gnocchi, where she shares 2 recipes for this potato pasta dish. Okay, so my confession that I was just making is I haven't made gnocchi in probably 12 years. And I made it once back then. So we might be in for a bit of a treat. And by treat, I mean mess, catastrophe, recipe fail. Hey, my mom's commenting on something on Facebook. I love you too, Mom. She was commenting on my personal. Mom, you gotta go over. She's not watching this. Hopefully she'll be over on the Rythmia Facebook page. Because I've been trying to FaceTime my mom and I haven't been able to get a hold of her. You guys don't care about that. Anyways, back to my confession. I haven't made gnocchi more than once in my life, and I did it like 12 years ago. So we're doing that live here on Facebook today. Should be fun. But the reason we're doing it is because I toss out ideas for and topics for these Facebook lives well in advance, like a month and a half ago. I probably sent this down to Malibu, or up to Malibu. And I don't really think much about it until it comes down to actually having to make it. So luckily for us, gnocchi is a pretty easy recipe. So I'm gonna do 2 versions today. Who's watching here? We got Brody watching. Thank you for joining us over here, Brody. Johnny's watching, Joe's watching, Penny is watching. Hey, Johnny Fast. Tammy's watching, Denise is watching. She says hello to me and to you, Kenneth. Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Waiting to see who else hops on here, where we're watching from. So gnocchi. I had a big old bowl of gnocchi on Friday night in preparation. I did not make it from scratch, not gonna lie. I had a big old bowl of gluten-free gnocchi with pesto, homemade pesto, that I did put some really good Parmesan in, and some plant-based meatballs, lentil meatballs that were quite delicious. Potato potato, right? And this particular brand, I think, is just potato, gluten-free flour, and sea salt, which is exactly what we're gonna do today. And just delicious. I'm actually gonna put some of this on to cook while we're at it. So I got here, before we get into making the gnocchi, this is how you cook it. Package, if you buy it. Boiling water. Very, very easy. Toss a few in. Dun, 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 dun. And when they rise to the top, the gnocchi is done. Dun, 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 dun. You know what? I didn't bring a spoon to scoop it out with, but I'll use that big spoon. I'm just gonna put these in the fridge for now, for safekeeping. La, la, la. So these will start to rise to the top once they are good and cooked. I'm gonna put the lid back on real quick just to make sure the water stays warm. A little bit. Okay. Tammy's now saying hi to both Meg and Kenneth. Joe is licking his lips. Penny Lane says Northern Vermont here. Bet you it's kind of cold in Northern Vermont right now, isn't it? Ooh, yes. I was just about to say, did we get me some ice water? Yes, we did. Oh, it's warm. It's warm today, but a really beautiful breeze, as Kenneth probably showed you at the beginning here. Absolutely incredible weather we're having right now in Costa Rica. Where's my mom? Mom's not watching. Mom. Okay, so we got this gnocchi cooking away, and look it. So I got the water up to a pretty steady boil again by covering it. And so I'm not really sure if my gnocchi's floating to the top just because of the bubbles or because it's actually getting ready. So I'm just gonna turn down the heat a little bit. Look at that. Light as air. Pillow. It's like 2 or 3 minutes only this good stuff needs. So pretty. It's like a meditation watching the gnocchi float in its little hot bubble bath. We're done. We're gonna do that all day. You guys will be bored to tears. So, why don't we get to mixing ourselves a little plate of this gnocchi and we can show you just how easy it is. So I'm gonna take out some of this gnocchi. A nice like strainer spoon would be helpful here. I always forget something, and I said to Kenneth, I was like, I didn't forget anything today. Lies. And I also told the world, I'm a professional gnocchi maker. Lies. Pura vida. These Facebook Lives are as much for your education and practice as it is for mine, kids. To be honest, I don't spend much time in the kitchen here at Rythmia anymore because I have an amazing team that executes everything on my behalf, so I don't actually have to be in the kitchen. So sometimes I like to get practicing. So look at that, our light as air gnocchi. Not made from scratch, but delicious nonetheless. And then we can just add, here, look at this. So I've got a couple of different sauces here. I've got a pomodoro sauce, a regular simple red sauce. I've got pesto, and we're gonna make a little butter sauce for some homemade gnocchis. So, but for now, all I'm gonna do is all you need to do is just add some whatever sauce in with your gnocchi. I like lots of sauce. And the beauty of the shape of the gnocchi, they have these beautiful ridges. I got these, well, I don't wanna do one of them, each different ones. The ridges really help to hold on to the sauce. So good. Sorry, Kenna. And here's a nice little appetizer serving. We're not gonna eat it because we're gonna wait till the end when we have all three done. And then you could just garnish that with a fresh leaf of basil, some freshly grated Parmesan, or in my case, Manchego cheese. And that is like super filling. Like it's just flour and potato, but so filling, you know, so filling. So there's dish number one. And what did that take me? All of 2 minutes. And you could use your favorite, you know, no sugar added, super healthy organic jarred tomato sauce, packaged gluten-free or not gluten-free gnocchi, and that's like dinner. Make a bigger portion, dinner in under 5 minutes. I think, mic drop, we're done. Dinner under 5. Okay, there's my mom. I am now emailing. What do you mean, Mom? You're emailing? You're emailing me? Or now you're watching? You're actually watching on the right channel. I flipped everyone out, got them all confused when I was live over my own Facebook page. So Mom, I was telling everyone before you hopped on that I was trying to FaceTime you this morning. So I have some life updates that I want to share. I'm not going to share with everyone viewing right now. I will very soon, but I'll try to FaceTime you later tonight or tomorrow morning. All right, Mom. Sorry about that, guys. A little family moment there. Okay, so we got recipe number 1 down, just like that. I went and I wrote out how to make this gnocchi, but I have faith. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is a gluten-free vegan gnocchi. All of 2 ingredients. It should be 3. I forgot the salt. I'm gonna have to yell at someone to get me some salt. Oh?
The green bell.
Oh yeah. Does that bell work? Like a button over here I keep forgetting about. So where does it ring? Into the kitchen? Oh, Brian!
Yeah.
I'm ringing it incessantly. Can you bring me some salt? Sí, gracias. I actually had to hit it really hard to get it to actually make noise. Okay, so recipe number 2, like I said, vegan, gluten-free, sweet potato gnocchi. So before we get into the actual recipe, I have to just show you guys that this is what our sweet potatoes look like here in Costa Rica. If you're from the north, like I am, they are more like this in color. But the sweet potatoes we get here are more of like Japanese version. Thank you, darling. So they're purple, the purple flesh on the outside, and on the inside. Oh, these ones are actually kind of orange. Typically they're very, very white, like a regular white potato almost on the inside. A little bit, like it's quite starchy. These are the sweet potatoes we have here. So I just wanted to show you guys that before we got rolling, because you're not going to think the potato that I'm using is actually sweet potato, but it is. So, dun, dun, dun. What I've gone ahead and done is I took 2 like medium to large size sweet potatoes and I just boiled them. You can bake them. I like the texture of baking them. I just didn't have the time because I started setting up for this Facebook Live around 1 o'clock today. So what I've got here, muscles, is my sweet potato. And I've gone ahead and riced it without a ricer. Pardon me, you got that right. But you can see the texture, Kenneth. You can get a close up here. Look at this texture here. Like this little bits. It's almost like if you work in the kitchen much, you're making gnocchi, all recipes call for you to quote unquote rice the potato, which is just another way of saying like cook your potato and then make it into small strands. It's the best way to get really smooth potatoes for like mashed potatoes or potato purees and stuff like that. But let's face it, if you're not making a lot of gnocchi or mashed potatoes, or you just, don't have all of the kitchen supplies, you might not actually have a potato racer. I don't even have a potato racer, and I have a commercial kitchen. So we came up with a couple of alternatives. So before we go any further, I'm just going to set that aside, and I'm going to show you my alternatives, and I'm going to show you how to do it using other potato. So I have a white potato here that I've boiled, same way. So this is just a plain regular potato. Ooh, hot potato. It's actually hot. So all I did, I was wearing gloves when I did this in the kitchen, but I just peeled the skin off. I'm not going to go too crazy with it right now, but I peeled the skin off. Once I had the skin all peeled off, I did it 2 different ways. The first way, in which most of you probably have access to, is a box grater. So this is what you use for grating carrots, grating cheese. I use it for ginger if I don't have a microplane or a rasp with me. You could use that. And this is what I did for some of these bigger bits. I just used this coarse side of my grater, which I'll show you. So you get, as you would, grating. If you have a little bit more patience and time, you could use the more fine, and you're going to get much more of a, mimic of a potato rice. Like if we used a racer, you see that? So that's one option. But time consuming, takes some muscles. This is the other alternative. Any sieve that you have, or colander, metal is nice. These cone ones are really, really helpful. This is typically found, we use these in commercial kitchens a lot. So I use this. You can see that the holes are pretty fine, but not too fine, so there's enough potatoes to pass through. And all I did was I took my potato, stuck it in there, grabbed a wooden spoon, and just pressed. See that? So this is like ricing the potato on demand, just like that. And it will come through. But this, my friends, takes a lot of elbow grease that I'm not going to do again because I just did it for 3 whole potatoes before, and I've got a bit of an arm cramp. So that is, if you don't have a potato ricer on hand and you want to make these recipes, I'm sure you have one of those 2 options at home, right? What do you think, Kenneth? That was pretty ingenious, right?
Very nice.
Okay, what's going on over here? Let me just, I don't know, I'm grunting. I'm working so hard. Trino comments says, Mirka's watching. Terry says, I was texting you when you were looking for me. Oh, she was texting me. Christy LeRae is watching. Okay. So, back to the recipe. I'm just going to put this little bit of white potato that I just did in with the sweet potato, potato. It's all the same. Okay? So we got our 2 medium to small size. And this is actually pretty cool, so it's easy to work with. So all I got to do is put my potatoes down. I'm just making a little bit of a well here. And by well, I mean just like a little hole in the middle. Then I need my flour. And I measured out 2 cups of flour. And I need salt as well. So I'm actually going to put a bit of salt in here first. Just to season. You always want to season as you go. Then I'm going to take my flour. Put a little bit on there. And then I'm just going to start folding my potato in with the flour. Now the key that everyone always says, all these professional gnocchi makers out there, they all say, don't overwork the dough. The more you overwork the dough, the more dense your final gnocchi will be. And because I'm not a professional here, I don't know what overworking it's going to be, but what I do know is I want to make sure that it's all holding together. So again, this is a vegan and a gluten-free option. So it's not going to come together like a bread dough would, because it is gluten-free and we don't have the gluten of the the gluten proteins in the flour to help really bind it together in that way. But the potato is quite starchy and is going to do a pretty good job at that, I think. And imagine if this was one of those beautiful bright orange or bright purple sweet potatoes, like with the purple flesh, how beautiful this dough would be right now, right? Absolutely gorgeous. So now it's coming together pretty good, and I'm just trying to get some of the extra little bits So you don't want it to be too sticky. Feels pretty good. What do you think, Kenneth? Have you ever made gnocchi?
I'm learning right now with you.
I love that everyone's learning from me, the completely unprofessional, uneducated, clearly not Italian cook.
What?
Hi, Meg.
Hi, guys.
I'll see you on Facebook.
We are live on Facebook right now. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Love your brownies. by the
Thank
way.
you. Welcome, you guys. Okay, so I'm saying that this is what it's going to be today because we have a little bit more work to do with it. So look at that. Transformed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into maybe 4. So I got just a knife here. If you had a pastry cutter, that'll help. Cutting this into 4. It's like I almost know what I'm doing. And then we're going to take each one of these little strips and we're going to, and it's a little bit sticky, so I kept my flour here so I could add more as needed. And then you just got to roll it into a nice long log. Oops, it's coming apart a little bit. Maybe I'll squeeze it together real quick better. I must not have worked it well enough. Maybe I'm just being too aggressive with it. I'll be a bit more gentle. Let's try this one. I maybe should have trimmed my nails today before I did this too. I'm gonna be getting sweet potato out from underneath my nails for days. There, this one's coming together. I added a little bit too much flour to that other one. So this is all there is to it. Rolling this into a little log, and it's all gonna be dependent on how big you want your gnocchi. Your gnocchi. Can you say gnocchi, Kenneth?
Gnocchi.
Yeah, you're good. Thought that might be one of those words that the English, it's not even the English language that you would have trouble with. Okay, so there we got a little log here, right? Then you just go and you cut it into gnocchi. And if you want, you could just leave it like this, and that is perfectly fine. Or if you want to have like that ridged gnocchi thing, you can just, right? Why are you making that face, Kenneth? Why are you laughing?
People need to understand the easy way. Choose the other option.
Yeah, it's this is what I'm all about. I'm always all about easy.
Yeah.
Look at that!
Amazing.
I made gnocchi! Now, how's it gonna taste? What's the texture gonna be like? This is where, and is it gonna fall apart the minute I put it in the water? So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do that. We're gonna test this. So I've got my water boiling here again. And actually I'm gonna crank it up a little bit. Bring it up to high before we do anything. So let's try that again, shall we? Not bad. I mean, these are pretty big gnocchi compared, but let me look at compared to this. But it's just gonna mean it's gonna take a little bit longer to cook.
The portion is 6 of those is a good portion.
Yeah, it's a good portion. Okay, so let's do this again. Look at that, perfect little log. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see how fast I can do it. Boom, shakalaka. I mean, these ones are a little bit more cutesy. Look at that. There are actually, so we like talking about tools, the rice, the potato ricer is a special tool. There's also I brought some because I feel like the beauty of doing a recipe like this also is you could do a bunch of different versions of the gnocchi on the weekend, and then throw it into little glass, which would be best, glass freezer containers. I have Ziploc bags here handy, which I do reuse. And you can put them in your freezer, and they freeze really well. Just make sure they're not all stuck together when you put them in. And I'm going to put these right into the refrigerator right now so that they don't go off. We can move on to the next one. So the next one is not going to be vegan, and it's not going to be gluten-free. It's going to be a bit more of the classical version. Using regular flour. So I'm going to just get this out of the way. This is extra flour. How do I want to do this? What kind of accent was that? Giovanni says yum. Wayne's saying hello. Anna Maria's watching. Is our live feed? Are we still live? Did it get cut out? Tell me I'm frozen here. Okay. We're gonna walk around this way. So I'm gonna scroll back to my potato tray here. And the reason I did all of this potato prep in advance is because it takes forever to boil potatoes, but also for this recipe in particular, I needed the grated potato, the riced potato, to be cold, because we're gonna be adding an egg. So if I had added those little guys floating up to the top. So I'm gonna let them go just a tiny bit longer because they are pretty dense, but look at that. They kept their form, they're gluten-free. Winning. And they're done. Okay, so I'm gonna take them out, add them back to my bowl that I rinsed. And you gotta be careful with these homemades, especially the homemade ones, because they can fall apart. So just be really gentle. And imagine again, if they were a bright orange or purple sweet potato, the color, you could do a combination. You could do like a bunch of orange sweet potato ones, a bunch of dark purple, and a bunch of white, and then serve all those with a butter sauce so you can really see the vibrant colors. That would be really lovely. Kind of, you're gonna be eating all of this at the end. Mm-hmm. Okay, so for this, and I'm gonna put my lid back on there and let that keep bubbling away because we're gonna have to cook one more version. To this, I'm going to use pesto. So this is just a version. This is our vegan pesto that we serve here at Rythmia. I got a spoon. So it doesn't have any cheese or anything yet, but you could use cheese. And I'm just going to put a generous dollop of that. And I'm going to use this big spoon to just gently coat them. You know, I could even do, maybe gently mix them around. They're sticking. Whoop, water boiling over. Okay. Gently. Oh God, it's so pretty. Look at that. What do you think, Kenneth?
I'm waiting for.
So that is 2 done. What are we at? 225. 2 proper meals complete. I think we're doing a pretty good job today. We're doing a pretty good job. So I have not failed you, my friends. And we're all learning. We are all lifelong learners. This journey of the soul. Okay, I gotta tell you, I was actually nervous about this Facebook Live today. I'm not gonna kid ya. I was feeling the nerves about it. Okay, so what do we got here so far? We've got straight up, and these are just white potatoes. I think most recipes probably call for russet. I don't know what these are particularly. They're delicious, is what they are. which I believe is Italian for cooking or kitchen, right?
Cucina.
I didn't even think about that. But I themed my apron with today's topic. So I got some regular, full of delicious gluten flour, which I did not open up because we keep it in the storage room. We don't use it in the kitchen because I don't like to have this type of flour in the kitchen here at Rythmia. So I purposely kept it sealed until we were out here, and I'm gonna grab just a cup of this. And if you watched last week, we were dealing with measuring things for baking in grams. If you really wanted to be precise with something like gnocchi, you could find your recipe in grams and measure it that way. Hi, Lukey. Hi, darling.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt.
No, good to see you. Welcome home. So that's Luke Seller. She's our guest speaker here this week. He comes here often, comes down and teaches amazing workshops on journey from the heart, meditations. He's incredible. Okay, so we got 1 cup of flour in there, and I'm going to keep that flour handy. And then I'm just going to make another little well. Say what? A well within a well. I'm going to sprinkle my salt in there. Whew, even my salt shaker's all nasty with sticky flour bits. Water break. And then we have our huevos. So 2 eggs for this recipe. And I think if you watched last week, I made this note. If you're cracking multiple eggs for a recipe, always crack them individually into a bowl instead of cracking them all into the vessel. Because if you get shells, it's much easier to pick the shells out from 1 egg than a bunch. And as you can see, I've got one in here. There's a little shell. Can you see that, Kenna? Mm-hmm. So my trick always to get a shell out is use a shell, because shell attracts shell. So look at that. Can you see what's going on? You see that, Kenna? See that?
Yep.
Cleared. Just like that, kids. Okay, so I'm gonna dump. Can you see this? Dumping my egg into that well. Do the same with the next. Nothing but yolk that time, no shell. Okay, then I'm gonna flour my eggs a little bit. Flour my hands a little bit. And then we just start pulling it all together. It's gonna get a bit messy. Sure, there's a better technique to this, but you could wear rubber gloves if you didn't feel like you want this yummy texture going on. I kind of like the sensation of being so intimate with my food with my hands. It's a sensual experience. Shopping for food, preparing food, eating food. We were given these 5 senses to use and enjoy in life. It almost looks like there's cheese in there from the bright yellow of those organic egg yolks, huh? Look at that. You need a little bit more flour. Look at that, it's already starting to come together. So now I'm going to start almost kneading it a little bit like bread. And so with these white potatoes, I didn't do the colander option so much as I used the box grater for the potatoes. So it's much more textured, the potato. It's not super fine. But I think regular white potato gnocchi can be super rustic, right? And especially since we're not using a proper gnocchi like mold to make the ridges and stuff, it's going to be pretty rustic. So I didn't think a little chunky potato would harm, right? Dun, 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 dun. I don't know how I'm ever going to get all of this off of my hands. I'm going to go for it right now. I feel like everything is just sticking to sticking to sticking. Christine Weir is saying hello. Tanya just joined us. 2:31 p.m. We're not doing bad for time. So rinse my hands. You know that they can hear you guys. Kenneth was having a conversation with one of our staff members who came up, and I'm pretty sure that they could probably hear you guys could probably hear them, maybe even louder than me, since they were right by the microphone. So I hope they weren't saying anything bad about me.
No, nothing.
You guys would tell me, right? Just kidding. Okay, So I'm gonna just flour my hands and get back in here a little bit. But it's the same from here on in, guys. It's just gonna be the exact same technique as the last gnocchi. You just gotta get the dough to all come together. Dun, dun, dun. Which it's doing quite well, as you can see, right? So good. It's magic, isn't it? It's not magic. It's science. Food science and the skills of a professionally trained gnocchi chef. Look at that. So good. Ciao, guys. Nice to see you. Okay, so this is a lot more dough than that first batch, right? So I'm not gonna go too crazy. I'm gonna go a little bit crazy. I'm gonna cut it into 6 maybe. So cut it across. Cut it across that way, like I'm cutting a pie, right? It's a little got a lot of guests over at the restaurant looking at me like, what is that woman doing over there? Talking to herself, walking away, getting really excited about potatoes. So look at that. Hey, bada boom, bada bing. Take our knife. I'm gonna do these ones a little bit skinnier. I feel like because this has regular flour in it, it might fluff up a bit more in the water, but look at some recipes, if I do recall, they tell you to make sure that your gnocchis are all coated with flour. I'm not going to get too stressed about that today. Look at this. Look. Oh, look at that technique. If you like, if I actually kind of roll it a little bit, that's kind of nice, huh? What do you think, Kenna?
Nice. Good shape.
This already feels much lighter in texture than that gluten-free one. It's got a big chunk of potato in it. Dun dun dun. Okay, now the time for the test. Into the water bath they go. Ready? Boing. And look at all the water. It's been boiling so long it's evaporated half of it. So I'm putting that in there. This isn't television, but it could be fun for Facebook. Jody's saying hello. Angel says, hello, Meg. Will you be there at the end of February? Can't wait. Yes, I will be here. I'm here all the time, every week now. I rarely leave. I'm here usually 6 days a week on site, living and loving and laughing, working with my amazing team here in the kitchen. Look at this! Success! Another successful gnocchi in there because I actually don't have access to sage right now. So I'm gonna add some thyme in there and let the thyme infuse into that fatty goodness of the butter, and this is gonna be the sauce for this last gnocchi. So good. I'm gonna let that cook away while I just do one more log of this gnocchi. I mean, is there really anything better than that smell? The smell of browning butter? Yes, there is. Browning butter with lots of onions in it, caramelizing, right? That is one of my favorite smells. Caramelized onions. Not just one of my favorite smells, but one of my favorite tastes. Look at how billowy. These are big gnocchi. These are fat. P-H-A-T, fat. There we go. A bada boom, bada bing, and then we have all this extra, so I'm just gonna, again, store this. And you could probably, I'm sure that the gnocchi would store well either like in pieces like this. You could probably freeze it. I'm just gonna coat it with flour. I'm sure it freezes well with this. You just defrost it, then roll it into your logs and form into your gnocchi. And I'm sure it also will freeze equally as well, formed into the gnocchi. And this is what I'm all about, is having stuff ready to go, like most of the prep work done and ready and in the fridge and the freezer, so that you're not really having to stress too much on weekdays, right? Look at that butter. You can smell that, right, Kenneth? It's already smelling nice and browned. So good. My hands are delicious. Oh, God. Okay, oh my God, that smells so good. Look at this. Ready? So good. Mercy. Just cook it. Everything's okay. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. Oh my God, come on, look at that. Can you smell? You guys can't smell that, but Kenneth and I can smell that. Look at the little brown bits. Mercy! So grab my plate. Scoop. Whoops, my gnocchi on there. So Kenneth, I'm gonna let you taste one with the fork, but then I'm gonna take some pictures for the Instagram, so. And then we're gonna dine. Look at that. Come on! And then you can add a little bit of fresh thyme. Not too shabby, right? We just made 3 kinds of gnocchi in 30 minutes, live in the internets for Facebook. And I get very excited about it, as you can tell. People always think I'm over here talking to myself, and I'm talking to thousands. Okay, my friends, it is 2:40. We're done. That is all I had for you today. I feel like my confession was unfounded. Well, no, my confession was the truth. But I think that I have redeemed any question that I had about my gnocchi making skills. Any of you Italians out there watching disagree, you can let me know. Send me a message. Tomorrow we're not, but definitely on next Friday, Christian will be doing his own breathwork. Next Saturday,